Guys, we have a full moon in Scorpio Friday afternoon. This is going to occur about 1:23, 1:30 Eastern Time. And again, this is in the sign of Scorpio. This is also called the flower moon. And of course, the oil blend that I have created to commemorate the full Scorpio moon, flower moon, is called Nurture. So we're just going to jump right on in, okay? The body parts associated with this full moon are the genitals, prostate, if you have one, urethra, and anus. So take care, be cautious of injury, illness, infection, whatever the case may be. Just be very protective of those areas of your body. Now, this is definitely going to feel watery, as Scorpio is a water sign. There are 8 water element transits. It's equally balanced in fire and air as well. So 8 fire, 8 air, only 3 in earth. So even though the sun is still in Taurus, it's not going to feel very earthy. It's going to be a bit of a challenge for us to ground ourselves, but do that to best kind of work with this energy. Keep yourself stable. Because we had a real shakeup lately, very recently, that is occurring right now. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. It's Uranus, guys. But the sun is in Taurus, the moon is in Scorpio, Mercury is in Aries, Venus is in Gemini, Mars is in Aries, Jupiter is still in Cancer, Saturn is still in Aries, Uranus just moved into Gemini, direct. All planets are direct, by the way. Neptune is still in Aries, and Pluto is still in Aquarius. So not a whole lot, again, that has changed, but that Uranus shift is a doozy, and we're going to get to that in a minute. So of course we are still working with earthy Taurus energy, right? This is calm, grounded, somewhat introverted energy, but very reliable, careful, and industrious, right? So we want to focus on that, and we want to try our best to stay grounded, because all this fire, air, and water energy isn't really going to allow us to do so. Now, of course, we already have talked about this. You guys probably get it by now. A full moon, the sun and the moon are opposite each other. That is kind of like the biggest tug of war, push-pull. Of course, these are fixed signs. We've talked about the fixed signs before. So, the balance of trying to embrace our more calm, reliable, sensible selves, as opposed to the very intense Scorpio emotional energy, is what we're going to be working with, right? So first, let's get this out of the way. The sun is square Pluto in Aquarius. So this can indicate power and control struggles because of an intense force of will with these fixed signs, okay? But growth and healing are possible. Right. And I've tried to tell you guys this before. Wherever you see challenges in, an astrology reading, in a chart, in the stars, whether it's a square, whether it is an opposition, it is a potential it's a challenge and a potential for growth. And I want you to really, really try to keep that in mind, okay? So yes, this is a minor challenge, though. It's not going to be too bad, but it is going to exist. The moon is in Scorpio. So, of course, we need to work. What is Scorpion themes, right? There's an intensity. There is kind of a very strong, magnetic, passionate drive and pull, right? But there's also kind of a shady, kind of suspicious side. Intense feelings can be uncovered and felt, and kind of shakes things up a little bit. So under this full moon, we need to work to let go of grudges from the past and work on emotional healing, self-care, uncovering and exposing hidden traumas. This is not comfortable stuff, guys. Scorpio energy is not meant to be very comforting, but it forces us to get the work done. It is stubborn energy. Don't try to force situations, okay? Extreme emotions are possible. Fear and jealousy bring about exactly what you are trying to avoid. Get that in your head. The more you give into those feelings, you are causing those things to occur, that the exact things that you do not want to happen. Now, there is a trine with Jupiter here, so this is a very minor positive influence. It's going to help balance that intensity a little bit with optimism and emotional wisdom and security. The best way to deal with this, work on beautifying in and around your home to get that grounding and to channel that intensity into something positive and something creative, nurturing, right? Again, keyword nurture. There is a square with the moon and Pluto as well. So this is actually the strongest challenge in the whole chart. It's right here at the beginning. This is, although, again, it's going to be a challenge, but there's going to be an emotional transformation possible with family and loved ones. But this is intense. It's going to be overwhelming and exhausting. So, and trust issues may come into play. Okay. So again, this is where you really want to ground, meditate, channel that intensity into inner work, into something positive, nurturing, beneficial, earthy, is probably the ideal thing to do. Now Mercury is in Aries, been there for a little while. This again is lending to rapid and impatient communication. We could come across as irritable because we can convey irritability, and that can lead to misspeaking. But there are no major aspects to Mercury at this time, all right? Venus is still in Gemini, so again, this is fun, flirty communication, witty, charming, funny style of communicating, and friendship is the basis of romantic relationships at this time. All right, you got to focus on the friendship. That's how that romance is going to last. Like, you can sometimes love someone but also not like them very well, but if you focus on the friendship, that will always remain, even when you might not be too happy with the other person, which could be possible under this full moon. All right. Now Venus is sextile Saturn in Aries, so this is the biggest positive aspects already, again, right in the beginning here. This is support for emotionally supportive and dependable relationships. Stability and trust abound. So if you already have a great group of friends, great social circle, a great relationship, that stability, that comfort is definitely going to be our strength over this full moon. And then it is trine Pluto. So this is more support for emotional depth, loyalty in relationships. Again, Pluto is in Aquarius, loyal to the T. Love is healing at the same time. This is strong, passionate, and magnetic energy. Okay, guys. Now, Mars in Aries, we talked about that. Mars loves being in Aries. This is still bringing that over the top, sometimes explosive passion, okay? Bold and assertive action are still going to happen. And the ability to handle challenges before when anyone else even realizes there really is one. So that is, Aries energy is so fast, especially with Mars in Aries, that like a lot of us are going to be handling stuff behind the scenes so quick that nobody even understands why we're running around and what's going on. But we've already handled the problem. You didn't even realize there was one. Now Mars is square Jupiter. So this is a minor challenge that can add to adventure. But also, it's impulsive and impatient thought and action, okay? So just caution against that. Again, this is where your grounding practices really come into play. Jupiter is still in Cancer. This is nurturing and caretaking instincts, right? This is still dominating, but there are no further major aspects to Jupiter under this. We already talked about that Jupiter aspect. Saturn in Aries, again, this is kind of a cooling of Aries energy a little bit because it tempers the impulsivity. You may still be feeling forced out of your comfort zone, or perhaps if you are a better soul, you are helping others, pull others out of their comfort zone for good. Like, really, like, get out of your shell. Like, let's, get stuff done. Like, this is going to make you feel good, right? Saturn in Aries is conjunct Neptune, so this is actually a slight challenge because we might feel uncertain whether to take a risk or stay in our comfort zones with this. But with Saturn sextile Pluto, this helps to force your hand a little bit in ambitious directions, especially involving leadership roles, right? Sometimes we are forced into leadership roles that we feel we're not quite ready for, but if no one else is going to step up to the plate and you have the knowledge and you have the experience, it might not be your comfort zone, but you never know if it's your forte unless you actually take the leap and do it. Now, here's the biggie. Here is the biggest change, and this is what is really going to be shaking things up, right? We've already kind of started to feel like this because we had a taste of this a few months back when Uranus retrograded, went forward into Gemini, then retrograded back into Taurus. Well, now Uranus is in Gemini permanently for the next at least 7-ish years. This is going to stay. The last time this happened was 84 years ago. Okay, so this transit highlights revolutionary changes in technology and communication, and especially in this age that we're in, the internet. But it is going to bring huge disruptions as well. A lot for us to adjust to, a lot for us to come to understand. We have to learn how to understand it and to use it. Hello, AI. This is ushering it in, like it or not. I mean, you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it's here. And we have to learn how to use it and control it so it does not control us, right? And then Uranus has a little sextile with Neptune and Aries. So this is a minor positive influence. This adds to our creative and spiritual expression. We need to go inward heal, though, for our outward collective growth, okay? This is kind of the same supportive transits that we've been dealing with for the last few months, but now that Uranus is in Gemini, the kind of what we're dealing with is different, and the results probably are going to be different. And again, Uranus is trine Pluto, so this is, again, that inner and outer healing and change, but with wisdom and purpose, right? Again, let's use our wisdom and like really learn how to use the tools that we now have at our disposal effectively, but wisely. Like little jokes and memes and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, sure, it's fun. Is it helpful? Is it worth us like driving up the cost of water and electricity just to play games? Let's think about it, guys, okay? Now, Neptune is in Aries. Again, it's that same Neptune and Aries energy. And it is trine Pluto. Again, it's trine Pluto, same Pluto and Aquarius energy. It's all the same. So the biggest takeaway here is nurture and care for yourself and your loved ones. Do the inner emotional work to keep yourself steady during the disruptive Uranus transit into Gemini, okay? Now, fixed signs, we know what they are. Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, feel this full moon most intensely. And we're probably going to have the hardest time, but the biggest growth potential with this full moon. So what I want you to do, did I do it? Oh my goodness. I think this is my shortest full moon video in a while because again, not a lot has changed, but the changes that have happened and that are going to be happening are intense and they are revolutionary. But you know, the biggest thing that I want you to do here, again, meditate, ground, deal with your stuff, deal with your demons, journal, diffuse my oil blend, nurture, allow yourself to feel, but vent and with in safe spaces, right? Watch for explosive energy, watch for impatience and temper, check your jealousy and your baggage at the door. Work through it with professionals or with the people who really truly care. Dig your hands in the dirt, plant your flowers when it's, maybe next week closer to Mother's Day, but still, again, Taurus energy, Mother's Day, Earth energy. We need to go to ground sometimes to help us with all of our stuff, right? At the same time, everything is speeding up on us. So we're in for a ride. Now, some sides might not feel this as intensely. They're not as stubborn as us fixed signs, so maybe they've already accepted some of this, and they're not really quite sure what our holdup is, but whatever it is, We're going to get through it, guys. Okay. Whew. Have a great full moon. Do the work. Enjoy yourselves. Don't hurt yourselves. Don't hurt other people. There are better ways to get things done. All right. Bless be. Namaste.